Hi, everyone. Welcome to the College to Calling Summit. My name is Miko Lau. And the reason why I gathered together over 20 plus experts to come on and do this interview series is because back in 2017, when I first came out of UC Berkeley, I wish I had something like this, where I get to tap into the minds of individuals who have gone down the path and created such a happy, successful, abundant life center around what the passions are, doing things that they love every single day. And today on this specific episode, we have a very, very special guest here with us. Her name is Mary L. McCarthy. Mary is the founder and chief empowerment officer of createrightnow.com, and she helps health-conscious individuals how to use the ultimate self-empowerment tool, which is journaling, to not only heal our physical selves, but also be empowered to become who we truly are. And Mary is also the multiple award-winning author of her book, Journaling Power: How to Create the Happy, Healthy Life You Want to Live and Heal Yourself with Journaling Power. And she also has done multiple life-changing e-workbooks, such as How to Turn Your Passion into a Career and 7 Days to Money Mastery. So with that all being said, I am really excited to have Mary here today to really talk to her and really get to know a little bit about her journey to get to where she's at today, and also talk about this very, very unique topic of journaling. So Mary, thank you so much for being here today, and I'm really excited to talk to you.
Well, thank you for having me, Miko. I love the opportunity to spread the word about journaling. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's jump straight into this. This interview is very different from all the other ones that I've been doing so far. And I feel like this topic of journaling is something that so many people out there has overlooked. And we don't really realize the power that journaling has. So why don't we jump straight into that and talk to us what exactly is journaling, how it works, and why is that so powerful?
Journaling is a free tool. I think that's one of the challenges, because when something is very easy to access and free, people are challenged by that because we're just so used to making things complicated and difficult for ourselves. So journaling is a free tool that's available for all of us, that helps us access ourselves and helps us understand who lives in our body. And that's why it's such a valuable tool. It's something that I don't know scientifically or how can explain it. There's just something about that manual exercise or experience that connects you to your body, your brain, your soul, your heart, and it's just something it's really your own personal therapist to help you sort out who you are and what you want and where you're going and things like that. So it's just something that I know, and I think it's because we were raised, with writing very much being spelling and grammar and all the things in school. I think people have shied away from that because not a whole lot of people are comfortable with the writing. Oh, I'm not a writer, I'm not this and that. So it's just something that's always been there, but it's something that we have to sell. I think it's just so it's really, like, as I said, a very handy dandy tool. And I mean, there's no right way to journal. There's only one right way to journal, really, and it's your way. So and I think people, because we're just so trained in our left brain and things like that, people have to have a procedure, or how do I get started? And we're just so how shall I say, programmed to be focused on what society or our teachers or whatever tells us to do. So it's a new challenge for us to be focusing on ourselves, because we are certainly brought up that journaling or or spending time with ourselves is so selfish. So it's like it's a very it's like meditation. It's something that we have all those the resources available to it, but it's just a real challenge as to uh, to access or to get started. There's just so much fear and so much, as I said earlier, programming involved. It's like, and it's a big behavior change, taking time for ourselves and working on ourselves and doing self-discovery, self-care. It's a very, very challenging thing. So I hope I answered your question okay.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, I love it so much. And I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of the reason why we don't get into new things such as journaling is because we have misconceptions about what exactly it is. We don't have enough information of how it works. And I love how you break down that at the end of the day, there is no right way to really journal. This is something that there's no structure. It's really about the creative side of our brain to really just empty our mind. So there's really no how-to guidelines exactly like how to do it. And I feel like sometimes people can get thrown off by that. But with this interview, I hope that we can clear up some misconceptions and really help you all get excited about how to implement this new habit change into their life to really make some really amazing transformations to happen. So Mary, I know like you are someone who's really passionate about journaling, and that's because it has a significant impact in your own personal life, and it has really transformed your life in so many ways. So why don't you take us back to the time that, how did this all inspirations came up? How did you get into journaling? Like what happened? How did you get to this point today with the work that you're doing?
Well, back about 20 some years ago, I think it was 1998, I had an MS episode, an exacerbation, and I lost a lot of the feeling on the right side of my body. So I needed a way to teach myself how to write with my left hand. At that point, I was running a very successful management consulting firm. So I was a businesswoman, and I had to have a procedure and all that. So serendipitously, or however you want to call it, I was talking to someone and she said, morning pages would be for you. And it's part of a book by Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way. And what you do is first thing in the morning, you write 3 pages of whatever. So it's just, stream of consciousness, free writing. I said, okay, that sounds like a good procedure, easy procedure to follow. So I got into that. And it was a spiritual, mystical, emotional experience. It was more than, I just really done it for physical therapy reasons. So I needed to teach myself how to write with my left hand. But it got into all these woo things that I just really, I started hearing rhymes. I started remembering things from my childhood. It was just really a fantastic thing. So I just kept at it. And it was very interesting that I learned how to write with my left hand in a very short time period, because as part of doing the morning pages, I remembered that I always was left-handed, but the nuns changed me when I was a little girl, because good little Catholic girls don't write left-handed, all that Catholicism and all the religious things. So that was really mind-blowing. So I just kept at it, and it just got me into the, like I said, the emotional, the mental, the physical, the spiritual, and I thought, oh, this is wonderful. And it's just really exciting, because it really helped me in my physical recovery, because I accessed myself and my power and my talents and all the things that I thought that I was, I wasn't. There were old thoughts and beliefs that I was carrying around since I was a little kid. But with the morning pages and the journaling, it was able to get it out on the page and say, oh, that's where that comes from. Oh, that's crazy. And I've been thinking that. So it just became an addiction to me. And it's just like, and I was seeing, in addition to the spiritual and the mental, I was also seeing physical improvement. So I thought, and that's what helped me to make the decision to get off of drugs. I said, I don't need all this stuff. So I just really, it gave me renewed understanding in myself, and just gave me confidence that, wait a minute, this is my body, this is my life. I can choose what to do, who the resource I need. So that was, and then taking it a step further, I thought, I really want to share this with the world. And that's how I came to set up my company, Create Right Now, and create journaling with, for the health of it. And I have to say that in my experiences with journaling, that's how I came up with the name of the company. Create Right Now one day just showed up on the page, and one day journaling for the health of it just showed up on the page. So it's one of these that, oh, I have to keep doing it, but two, I have to share it with everybody.
Wow, that is so exciting. It sounds like it's really fun. I think when we get those aha moments to really remember who we truly are, and that example you just gave us about realizing and remembering that you were once left-handed when you were younger, that must have been a super fun experience for you to remember too. So I love the morning pages exercise. Is that what you mentioned?
Yes, it's called morning pages. Yes.
Morning pages. So basically, in the morning, we just fill up 3 pages of our journal with anything that comes up.
Right, and it's recommended that you do it as soon as as close to waking up as possible, because you're coming out of our dream, sleep mode or whatever, before we get into the day, and before the inner critic wakes up. And it's best to to just really do the I think the author who created it calls it do your data dump. So that, and it's just like I said, it makes, from the logical left brain, it makes no sense whatsoever. But the thing is, I think because I had a need, because I had to get myself left-handed ASAP, and I think I just got into it. But it's just like, so that's why they recommend when you wake up to do it as soon as close to awakening as you can, and just do 3 page of whatever. If you don't know what to write, I don't know what to write about. This is stupid. Whatever you feel. And I think that's, Miko, and the exciting thing is, like, because we are tapping into our heart and soul, and that's all about feelings. And that's very different. We're just so analytical, overthinkers. So that's a very different experience. So it's just like, and that's what I recommend to people. I said, just let it rip. And what I think it helpful to a lot of people to get started with this is to put a question at the top of the page. Who am I today? How am I feeling today? What is going on inside me, or whatever, and then just start and just fill up 3 pages, and then see where you go.
Oh, I love it so much. And just by listening to you talk about that process, I can see so many amazing benefits from just doing that, because I heard this somewhere else. They said that whatever thoughts are in our minds, that takes up mental energy. So if we can empty that out, literally, physically, onto paper, take that thoughts onto paper, that opens up for like a clean slate that we can go about our day, fresh start, nothing really cluttered in our mind, so we can think more with more clarity. And I think also at the by using the question at the very top, it's a really good way to set the intention for the rest of our day, the way that we go about it. So I love that so much. I'm going to practice that morning pages activity for myself too. So you mentioned how through your journaling, you have really got the idea for your business names. Have you gotten any other inspirations that completely changed your life through the art of journaling?
Well, and one of the first things I got in the process, again, were memories of my childhood. And one of the things I remembered was I always loved music, and I always wanted to be a singer and learn how to sing. And another childhood experience I remembered was that I tried out for the choral group in my grade school, and they didn't want me. And they told me that that I couldn't join the group because I was tone deaf. So it was one of those things that like so many things in childhood as a kid, we're just sponges. We take everything in, and our feelings are not formed and things like that. So with so many other things, I stuffed down. So I say another revelation of the journaling was to recover my singer. And I said, yes, I'm going to learn how to sing. I'm going to take singing lessons, and call it, again, synchronicity or the universe going to work or whatever. Within a month or so, there was an article in my local newspaper about a singing school, or not a singing school, a music school, like a couple of towns away, that their tagline was that they catered to students of all ages. So, and that was my opportunity. So I've been, excuse me, taking singing lessons for about 15 years now. And I just, and just having the fun. And it's really exciting, I've done a couple of albums, and I'm also now, excuse me, pardon me. I'm also, I'm writing my first album. So I'm the man I'm taking my voice lessons with. He's helping me out on it. But like I said, so I'm really excited that I'm combining creatively my love for singing and my love for writing.
Oh, that is so exciting. Congratulations on the first album. I love that so much though. And I feel like especially nowadays it's so needed because we're constantly on the grind. We're constantly doing something, always busy. There's always something to do. And we don't have that time to just sit still and really get to even know ourselves. Like I talk to so many of my friends fresh out of college, and they have no idea what they even love to do at that point in their life because they've been so focused on doing what other people are telling them. You should do this, you should do that. This is the way to get success or be happy, that they just forgot who they truly are and forgot even their passion. So I think this is really powerful to just sit down and just empty our minds. We might get these amazing discoveries of what we used to love that we just forgotten. So let me ask you, Mary, how do you analyze your journaling afterwards, or like do you get these insights and discoveries along the way? Like how are we supposed to do this after we write out everything? Are we supposed to go back and look over what we have written down, or how do you do it?
Again, it's up to you. It's whatever you feel like doing. I always say that feel is my favorite 4-letter F word. But for me, I just do my journaling, and when I fill up a notebook, I throw it away. Some people, because I really feel like when I've done the journaling, especially on a daily and a per journal basis, for me, that's my release, and that's my inspiration. That's my process. And it's like, yes, getting it down, and okay, that's fine and great and wonderful. It's like, all right, got there. Here, Mr. Trash Man. Here's my notebook. But some people, again, it's an individual thing. Whether you want to go back and reread it, then once you finish your journaling for the day, you want to do it then and there. If you want to read it out loud, if you want to save them for whatever. I mean, I know a lot of people that say that I was talking to a young lady, and she said, it was really challenging because they were doing some renovations in their house, and they had to take a long time for cleaning out a room because she kept all of her journals for 30 years. So, that's what's so exciting, Miko, about journaling. It's like it is totally up to you. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to feel like. Like I said, if you want to do it on a composition book, if you want to do it in the morning, if you want to do it in the evening, if you want to do it in a coffee shop, if you want to keep them, if you don't want to keep them, totally up to you. It's your practice.
Yeah, and I love that so much because that really takes a huge pressure off of our shoulders. Because if we feel like this is the way it has to be done, so many of us just don't have that patience or that discipline to keep going. But when you say that it's completely up to us, that really makes it a more fun thing that we look forward to doing. And just whatever works for us is the way to go. So Mary, I know that not only is journaling something that is a part of your practice, your life, but you also help a lot of individuals out there to really learn how to use this self-empowerment tool. What are some of the biggest things that you have noticed with the clients that you work with after they take on this new practice of journaling? What are some of the major transformations that you have personally noticed?
I would say, well, one woman found her true passion. One of the things that she had been in a job that for a lot of times, but it was, it wasn't working for her, and she wasn't really sure. But through the journaling process, a lot of writing, just having the practice, and that it started putting things together, and now she's running like a retreat place, and she's a certified yoga teacher. So and several of my clients, it really helped them to see that when they have a physical challenge, that's just like the tip of the iceberg. That's the entranceway into finding out what's really going on. It's way more than just, I mean, certainly it's physical, and there's something going on in your cells and things like that, but they were able to get way deep down into their heart and soul and their body, and really realize and tie in everything emotionally. And so it was a very rather than just being a physical exercise, it was really an entree into their emotions, their thoughts, and they really found that the journaling helped them. It's really a tool to help them train their brain and their thought process. And like you said earlier, to think of it, wait a minute, I'm carrying around everybody else's thoughts and what my mother said or society says we should do or whatever. So it really, I say with several of my clients, it really helped them get into, wait a minute, those are to discover their thoughts and to like, yeah, this is who I am, or this is who I want to do, or I want to pursue this, or wait a minute, I've always, like with me, discovering, I've always loved art, or getting into things creatively that certainly our parents and society, you have to get a career, you have to get a job, you have to, but I mean, getting into music or art or whatever, that's anything creative, it's like, you'll never be anything. So it's really, a lot of people have the journaling affords them the opportunity to really get into their brain, their heart, their soul, and discover and make the choices to, wait a minute, this is what I love, this is my passion, this is what I'm going to pursue. And that's a very big step forward.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes I'm speaking for myself, like sometimes we don't realize how negative some of the thoughts that are in our mind are really, we don't realize that until we see them on paper, until we see like, oh, that's what I've been saying to myself, or that's the things that go on inside my mind every day, all day, every day. But until we can actually see it on paper, and that's when we have that aha moment and realize like, these are the thoughts that don't serve me, and it's time to let them go. And so I truly, truly resonate with the power of that in that aspect. So Mary, when you decided to create createrightnow.com to really share your methods, your passion for journaling to help other people, did you ever encounter times when people around you, or I mean, including yourself, did you experience that inner critic, external critic, people around you telling you like, what are you doing? Or just negativity coming your way? How did you overcome those?
Well, with me, I've always been someone that has just, if I set a goal or made a decision, I just did it. I never got into what other people thought, thought or whatever. But I think that's because of the way I was raised. My parents were basically, we brought you into this world, and we clothed and fed and schooled you. Okay, now you're an adult. Go out and do what you want to do. So I never really had that thing. But I do have to say that's one of the many benefits of the journaling, was because I got into and I learned about the inner critic. I never knew anything about it, the inner critic, until I just realized, was feeling, where's this coming from? Where's all this negativity and all these, like I said, these messages and thoughts and craziness. And like I said, so I found a book of a lady that I think her book was called The Art of Fiction Writing, and she got all into. So that's how I discovered the inner critic, and so I thought, oh, it's me. So I thought, that's what I have found the biggest thing is, like, I have been doing it to myself all these years, because I did, like I said, I didn't really have a whole lot of influence from, the influence I had from other people and adult supervisors, shall we say, it just never really affected me. I think I was sort of like on my own planet or something. I just had my idea of like, this is what I want to do, so I'm going to do it. But as I said, that's one of the fantastic things about journaling, was to understand this inner critic, where it came from, and just understand that we have all these thoughts and feelings and misfeelings and misthoughts, because there were things that we as children misinterpreted, and we've just been and this stuck it down in our subconscious. So that's like I said, so that was, as always, my biggest challenge has always been me. And now that I'm on, after 20 some years of doing this, and have the inner peace and calmness, and that I just really realized, it's like, oh, I can see how the way I was behaving towards myself, how that could very well have exacerbated and brought out MS, because we're all tied in. So I guess from the journaling, I really understood how, yes, we're spiritual, we're mental, we're emotional. So so that was, like I said, that was the big thing with journaling, is to realize, oh my God. And that's what gets me comfortable with working with other people, because we are all masters of self-sabotage. And even when you have very wonderful, well-meaning parents and people around us, and it's a supportive environment, whatever, we are just so dynamic and powerful. We as children just sucked everything in, and we just we just need the time, and journaling now provides us the opportunity to do that processing and that self-reflection and examination, and taking a minute, taking the time for ourselves to say, where does that come from? Where's that going on? Or how am I feeling? And what's going on? And beyond just, the purely physical. So.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And I'm speaking like from my experience, one of the biggest moments of turning point for my life personally was when I could really step back from inside my mind to observe the thoughts that are going on, the emotions that are going on, and to understand that I am not defined by those emotions, those thoughts that just go on autoplay constantly. If I like, that was really the moment that I got to know who Miko Lau was, to be able to step back and really observe all those thoughts that are just running the show. And journaling is obviously the best way to be able to physically see that, instead of just really doing that exercise in our mind mentally. So Mary, our listeners listening to this right now are probably really blown away by what they're learning about the benefits of journaling. And they might be wondering, how can they possibly really implement this in their lifetime? Like, I mean, we are also busy, right? We don't have the time to even sit still and just be quiet for a while. So like, how can they really put this practice into their life and keep it going, not just do it for one day, do it for 2 days? How can they really make this a part of their life?
My best suggestion is I always say, just do it. Because again, as you said, we're just so experienced in our thoughts running us, and being busy, being so out there. So my suggestion is always to just sit down and give it a try. Just get a notebook and a pen, and put a question at the top of the page. Ask it, how do I get into journaling? Or it's journaling for me? And then just write very, very, very quickly. That way you get to experience what the journaling process is all about. And then that starts you on your journey to self reflection and introspection. And that then, if you keep up with that, just doing the free writing, that will lead you where you need to go. And as you know, you won't have an answer in one sitting, but it's just something about the pen to the page, as you say, and getting that whatever out on the page. There's something about the process that is just like, you'll be walking around, or you'll be in the shower, and you'll say, oh, that's what happened. So like I said, that is my best recommendation, is to just start. Just get a pen and a paper, and write a question, and just write. So that way you get to experience the situation, because otherwise, if you don't do that, you'll be talking yourself out of it, forever, because our mind, and it really, as you know, it really involves a whole new way of thinking and behaving about ourselves. So, like I said, that's my number one suggestion, is just to give it a shot. As Nike says, just do it.
Yeah, just do it. And I feel like once we do it and actually put that pen to our paper, when we get that experience, it's something that we don't want to give up on. We will just get addicted, and we will keep going, and we have all these amazing discoveries. So like Mary said, just do it, and then we'll realize the power of that for ourselves and experience that. So Mary, let's switch topic a little bit. Since we are talking to our audience that are mostly in their early 20s, fresh out of college, so I want to get to know more about your experience when you were in college. What was your idea of success back then? Like, what did you think you were going to do with your life?
When I went to college, let's say that was back in the late 60s, early 70s. I really wanted to get out into the business world, and make my mark, but it was like, again, not socially acceptable for girls to go into the business school. So I was searching around for a good practical skill. So I changed majors a whole lot because, but I then discovered journalism, and I thought, wow, if I could write well, if I could work with people, and uh, that would really help me in life. So I'm just really keen on that. And then I've always been interested in psychology, and I did a minor in psychology. So because I thought, I think the key is people. It's not so much, how a lot of the schools teach us about accounting, or this system or that system. No, I said no. I just had this gut feeling. I said if you understood people, and you were able to figure out people, and work with people, and communicate with people, and write, and that would be the way to go. So that's what I majored in. I went through college, and that's what I got my degree in. And then I went out, and I ran a weekly newspaper for a while, and I really enjoyed that. But then it was time for me to. So I grew up, and I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, and I thought now it was time for me to go out and see the world. So a friend was living in Washington D.C., so I moved to Washington D.C. and worked in Washington for a company there for a while, and then eventually got into with a big management consulting firm, and finally did get into the business world, and then went out and at a couple of years after that set up my own management consulting firm. So that was my experience, and to me, college was so exciting because it was like we have all these opportunities to say, what's me? What do I want? What do what do I want with my life, and what do I? And to me, I just always needed the practical things. So, like as I said, with the journalism and psychology combination is really served me well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you make that transition from being in the business world to opening up your own business with createrightnow.com, how was that shift for you? Like, was it scary? Was it easy?
It was easy for me because I've always been someone that um, I don't do well with. I mean, I do well with structure and organization, but not a lot of the politics and the BS that comes with that. So in my business experience, even with a big consulting firm, there's just so much game playing going on, and silliness and ego stuff, and it's just like, no, I'm here to work with my clients and help my clients be more successful. So that it became very easy to see then that it's just like, wait a minute, this just doesn't make any sense. I said I knew that I was able to do really good work with clients, but I just needed to hook up with some people that, or some gentlemen that had sales experience. So again, we're talking about being within the mid to late 70s. So it's just like you needed a male business partner. Just so that's so then, and I got and so I just went out again. I just found, Miko, that once I'm clear and I've set my goal, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go out and start my own a consulting firm, but this is what I need and who I need and all that type of thing. And then I was sitting in a class one day on making career changes or whatever, and a woman in the class said, oh, my next door neighbor has a small consulting firm. Maybe you want to talk with him. And that's, and I bought into that firm. So again, I just think it's, so I just think that, just trusting yourself and your, and what you want and pursuing your passion. And I think I just always wanted for the longest time, I always wanted to be out in the business world and practical. So it's just but like I said, no. So to answer your question, it was just a natural progression. It's just like, but it's like I go through a process, as we all do. It's like, okay, making, and I think I sort of guess now that I think of it, I was doing journaling, not formal journaling, but I always used to make lists of things of, okay, this is what I don't want, because I think we're all really good at defining, oh, I don't like this, or don't want this, or whatever. So I think that helped me get clear on getting that out of the way. So it was instructive and helped me determine, oh, that's what I want. I said, yeah, I just don't want to spend my life dealing with all this BS and craziness. It's like on all these egos. It's just like, no, I want to work with my clients and help my clients become more successful.
Yeah. So I want to ask you now that your experiences that you have building your own business, like what inspires you every day? Like what is your definition of success now?
Getting emails or feedback from people that have created and run or have a successful, for them, journaling practice, and the ahas that they've come up with. That's my success of hearing in their voice, be it on the telephone or on email. It's just hearing the ahas that they have about when they come to the realization of how fantastic and talented and creative and passionate and loving they are. So that's my version of success. It's just like, I wanted to get everybody hooked on journaling, but like I said, to me, getting the feedback of people that have just, like you said, just done it, that just got in and like, wow, and the places I'm going, and the changes I've made, or how this has helped me, or I mean, things that I'm doing that I never ever imagined doing. So other people's ahas, and sharing and celebrating other people's ahas is what's my definition of success.
Oh, I love it. I can feel your passion for everything that you do just by listening to you talk, Mary. And just to wrap up this interview, we're coming to the end. I have two more questions I would love to ask you. So now that you have successfully built a career really centered around your passion in journaling, and I feel like, I mean, this was a question that I personally had when I first came out of college, and I feel like a lot of my friends also think about this. Is it possible that we can truly build a successful, abundant lifestyle centered around our passion? Or, people always say, like, you can do what you love and make money at the same time. What is your take on this?
My take on that is that is their opinion, that and it's based on the way they've always done it, or what someone else told them. And journaling helps us get into our heart and soul and understand that it's not about them. It's about us, and we have the answers. We have the talent. We have everything we need to make money and pursue our passions. Absolutely.
Yes, I believe in that too, 100%. So Mary, last question to wrap up this interview. Knowing everything that you know now, all the experiences that you have, if you can go back in time and talk to Mary when she was in her early 20s, what would you say to herself?
I would say that I love you very much, and damn, you're a good girl. That's what I say. It's just like, I just really reinforce, like, Wow, you are one fantastic, beautiful, intelligent lady. Go out there and take on the world.
Yes, I love that so much. And when we can come from that place of self-empowerment and self-love, we can really do so much with our talents and our gifts. So I love that so much. And I just want to take this moment to acknowledge you, Mary, for all the amazing work that you're doing out there for people and all the lives that you're touching, not only by coaching people how to journal and implement that practice in their lives, but you're taking your time and being so generous to come on here today to share with our audience about the power of journaling, about your story. And I have no doubts that people listening right now can really have those aha moments. And I hope that they will also implement journaling into their lives and really experience how that has a positive impact in their lives, through their own experiences. So, Mary, if our listeners would love to stay connected with you, can you let us know how they can find you online? And also, I know you have a free ebook that you have prepared to offer to our audience. So if you would like to touch on that a little bit, that would be awesome.
Certainly. I'm at createrightnow.com, and the right is WRITE now.com. And if we go to people go to my homepage, there'll be a drop down, and you'll have the opportunity to sign up and get a free ebook, which is called Overcoming the Stresses and Strains of Life with Journaling Power. So, and then there are all kinds of prompts, all kinds of resources, other stories of other journalers and what their ahas and their experiences with journaling. So there are all kinds of free resources available so that we can get everybody in the world book Miko. It's like, and I so much enjoy hearing your passion for journaling and your your successes and your your revelations and everything about journaling. So that it really excites me.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary. And absolutely go to createrightnow.com and get that ebook. This is the first step that we can all take to implement this practice into our lives. So thank you everyone for tuning in today to listen to this interview. I hope you have got something super powerful out of this 45 minutes here together with Mary. And make sure you tune back in next time to listen to our next interview. And we'll see you then. Bye.